Hello, YouTube. Hopefully the lighting is not crazy and my angle is not messed up because I'm filming from the back of my camera. But anyways, it is a Wednesday. No, it is Tuesday and I am in Houston, Texas. And I wanted to stop in because I am currently reading Home Fire by Kamila Shamsie, and I am thoroughly enjoying this book. What I am realizing is that as much as I talk about diversity in writing, I don't, or in my reading and reading diverse authors and different types of authors, I don't think that I've done a good job of reading diverse literature. And hopefully I'm in the angle of the camera, but I don't know how good a job that I've done. Hold up, let me make sure. Hi YouTube, it's your girl Stacey Celeste, and I'm back here. I know I'm probably bright. Hopefully I'll be able to saturate this a little bit, but I'm here to talk to you guys about Home Fire by Kamila Shamsie. This is my first reading vlog in a while, and so part of my reading vlog is I want to be able to kind of show you what my days and stuff are like, and you will have just seen a little bit of footage of me going to the airport, and right now I'm in my hotel room. I'm in Houston, Texas. And I started this book. I read the first chapter of this book last week, but I didn't touch it until yesterday, until Monday. And well, no, that's a lie. No, that is not a lie. I didn't touch it till Monday, and I've made it quite far through. This book has been really a great read, and it's been pretty easy read. It reads really fast, and it is pretty hard to put down. Like I put it down because I have to put it down, like whether it's to go to sleep like I did last night, or getting off the plane like I did on Monday. Essentially this book is about a family who was basically very much so struck with tragedy. There are three siblings. The oldest is Isma, and then I know I'm saying these names wrong. The oldest is Isma, and then Anika and Parvez, I think how you say it. I will put the way it's spelled up here. But Parvez are twins, and they're like 7 years younger than their oldest sister. Their mother and their grandmother passed away like kind of back to back from each other when I think the twins were 12, and then Isma was like in her late teens, and and Isma basically raised and took care of her twin siblings. Now Anika has gone to law school, and then her brother Parvez has essentially followed in his father's footsteps, which their father worked for like a jihadist Muslim terrorist organization, or fought for them, and I think there's more story to that, so I'm not sure, but he decided to go and be a part of that organization, and Parvez ended up kind of following suit and doing the same thing. So the other element of this is that back in the United States, where Isma is studying for her PhD, she meets a guy who happens to be, his father is a diplomat. This is all based in London. So the people are Pakistani Muslims, and they live in London. They're from London. They are, English people, but they also talk about, identity, and how, if you're a Muslim person in England, or you're not really given the same citizenship language. Even if you have the passport, there's language that you're not really included, or you're kind of set aside, or you're kind of not a first class citizen. You're kind of treated almost like a second class citizen. So essentially she meets this guy whose father was a diplomat, and who knew her father, and who also knew of her brother's involvement with the jihadist Muslim people. And the premise of the story is that, the brother, or this boy, the son of the, diplomat, or I think he's the prime minister. He's in the line to be a prime minister. I don't think he's quite the prime minister yet, but he's like in politics. He gets into a relationship with one of the sisters. I'm not gonna tell which one because I don't want to spoil anything, but he gets into a relationship with one of the sisters, and it becomes obviously an issue because his father, not only is he a politician, he's very much so about blending in. So he preaches a lot of, women not wearing their hijab and kind of becoming British citizens and kind of not being Muslim. And the irony of it is that he, was Muslim, growing up, and then he married a white lady. And so, yeah, so far I'm really, really enjoying this book. And I think what I am realizing is just how little or how much there is that people of color have in common, and how much our experiences, though different, that they are very similar, and I could see this easily being, a Black family to an extent, obviously a little different because of the discrimination caused by 9/11, like terror, being a Middle Eastern or Muslim person. There's a different type of terror, a discrimination that they face, and I think it's really been eye-opening for me. I read a lot of Black authors. I do read non-Black authors. I do mostly read authors of color, but I've not read about a Pakistani family. And so what is prompting me is just to engage more with different cultures in terms of reading, and just start to really see the similarities, but then also understand the differences, so that, I think we can have more language to talk about white supremacy and patriarchy in general when we can see it from the lens of not only a Black woman, but also a Muslim woman, and also a Middle Eastern woman or an Asian woman, or even an Asian or Middle Eastern man or Muslim man or a man from the Caribbean. To me, this is an example of where I need to be in terms of my reading, and making sure that I am not just reading only Black authors, even though there's so many and you want to get to them, but also taking time to read about other cultures and read about other religions and how they experience the world. So, like I said, I wanted to stop in real quick. Is a reading blog, so I'm going to try to get some different footage. I just finished work up today and I'm very hungry, so I want to go get some food, and then I'm going to probably do a little bit of workout, and we'll see what I get. I'm going to be in Houston till Friday, so I think I may be able to finish this book by the time Friday comes, if not before I get on the plane, while I'm on the plane. So stay tuned, and I will get back with you. Peace out. Look at me. I keep looking at the thing. Look at the camera, not at the viewfinder. Y'all hold me accountable. Hold me accountable in the comments when I don't be looking at the camera. Cause I'm actually editing video for this vlog, and y'all, I have not been looking at the camera very well. Y'all. It is Saturday. I finished Home Fire on the plane back from Houston yesterday, and I am... Princeton is beating up on the next person. Listen, I've been watching the NCAA tournament too, so... But Princeton is winning still. They won. They beat Princeton. They weren't supposed to beat the first round, and now they might win again. I love it. I love, y'all. Just a disclaimer, I love when the underdog wins. I love when the underdog wins. I consider myself an underdog, so I'm always, I'm 9 times out of 10 always rooting for the underdog, okay? Just a little known fact about me. Anyways, back to the book. I finished this on the plane, and I ended up giving this 4 stars. There are a few themes in here that I kind of touched on in my first blurb about the book, but have been further solidified as I finished the book. And the one most prevalent theme, and the one that I think is kind of at the heart of the book, is this father-son relationship, but then also there's a component of the relationship of the boy to the mother. So this kind of son to parent relationship, to me, that's very, very central to the heartbeat of the book. I did at the end of the book realize, I don't know what, I realized at the end of the book when I read the author's acknowledgement that this is kind of a interpretation of Antigone by Sophocles. And Antigone is something that I read in high school, but I honestly, to be honest with you, I forget a lot about Antigone. Let me pull it up real quick. I was going to read it, which I still might read it, but I'm going to pull up the note on it. It says, Antigone, moved by love for her brother and convinced of the injustice of the command, buried Polyneices secretly. For that she was ordered by Creon to be executed and immured in a cave, where she hanged herself. Her beloved Haemon, son of Creon, committed suicide. Okay, so now I get it even more, because I think I was thinking of Oedipus Rex with this. I think I was getting Antigone mixed up with Oedipus, or I just might be... Oedipus Rex is also known as the Greek title Oedipus Tyrannus, or Oedipus King, is an Athenian tragedy by Sophocles that was first performed. What is it about, y'all? What is it about? Oh, Oedipus married his mother. Okay, so I knew that like both of them was together, but I didn't really... This makes a lot more sense for me. Okay, so I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. It is all about Iman. Not Iman, but Anika and Iman. Anika and Iman. Okay, so I definitely, like I said, picked up on the father-son component of the relationship, of the book. And I feel like the father-son component of the book is what there was a lot of vulnerability with the boy, Parvez, the character in this book, because there was an absence of his father, which made him more susceptible to become what he thought his father was and to get caught up in this jihadist movement. So I see that, and I thought that that was what Antigone was about. But y'all, you know, high school for me was almost 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago, getting quite close to 20 years ago since I read this. So I apologize. But it's the other relationship, it's the sister-brother relationship. And it's that question throughout. If you guys read this, you follow me. If not, you just think I'm going crazy. But it's the whole, did she really love Iman? Or did she love her brother? Or did she love Iman and her brother? Okay, y'all, this, I might have to up this to a 5-star. It just shows you how, if you can really connect to what the author was trying to do, which I didn't connect to it until I just remembered and got caught up on what Antigone was about. And now I do see it. I do think that she did this really well. She did it really, really well, and she wove in a lot of different stories. She wove in this this humanism, you know, that a lot of times we look at jihadists, or we look at ISIS and the people in ISIS. They are, obviously they've done very mean things and evil things, but these are people. And people aren't necessarily born evil or doing certain things. It happens over time. And let's be real honest, you know, in the Western society, that, you know, we get to decide, or the people that are telling the stories are these power structures we always talk about. And we talk about white supremacy, we talk about, you know, patriarchy, we talk about it so much it's becoming a cliche. But these are the people that are maintaining power by whatever means necessary, and they can switch the narrative up. So there's no doubt that ISIS, they do some cruel stuff. It's a lot of craziness in there, but it is influenced by, you know, what really is happening, and there is a lot of holes and gaps. But what she did was she made it very human, and she showed how people can get caught up into these extremist groups if there are gaps and vulnerabilities, especially within the relationships that they really need in their lives, like Parvez needing his father. So, like I said, if you've not read this book, you are completely probably like, what the F is she talking about? But something clicked, you know, when things click and it's just like, boom, that just clicked for me. So I'm still 4 stars, but I'm going to sit with this because it might not be 4 stars. The end of this book is very crazy, but I get it more now that I understand that Antigone piece. That makes more sense. Overall, I really, really enjoyed the book. I think I said it in my previous blurb, in my previous clip, that I definitely love to read about different experiences, and reading about the Muslim experience in the Western culture and Western society definitely is something that I want to dig into a little bit more and read a little bit more about, so that I can, you know, have more dialogue in addressing the larger picture of, you know, what I see of, you know, discrimination and racism, because it's not just about race. It also is about religion. It's also, you know, about, you know, being a woman, or there's so many layers to this. And I think this is just another layer that I haven't spent a lot of time with. I wanted to see some things that I didn't see, but at the same time, what I did see was stuff that I didn't see coming, which is what made this such a page turner. There's also another component of this book that is very important that I want to touch on, is that's acceptability politics. So, you know, there is, if you are a person of color, or if you're a person who is different, not just a person of color or a woman, but, you know, maybe someone from the LGBTQ plus community, or someone who is an all abilities person who doesn't, you know, physically experience the world in the same way everyone else does. There is this overarching thing that's in your mind of trying to fit in, you know, and you kind of hear that a lot about, you know, whether you wear your hijab or not, or how you pray or whatever. There are a lot of Muslims that have to figure out and have to kind of walk this very weird line of not making the society, or the people at the top, afraid of them, you know, having to mute themselves and not live as loudly just so that they can feel good about themselves and safe in their own identity. So there is this idea that you have to alter and change your identity in order to be acceptable and accepted. And so that is explored in this book, to me, very cleverly. And I really enjoyed that piece. I'm trying to give without giving too much. And then there is also this idea of citizenship. It's a question that came up in multiple times in the story of citizenship. Is it a privilege or is it a right? If you are born in a place, are you a citizen of that country, or do you have to perform in order to be a citizen? And who does that rule belong to? If you are a white British person, do you have to be a certain way in order to be British, or are you British? And, you know, there's that question in here. If you are a Muslim, a Middle Eastern Muslim person who is with Muslim, you know, you are from, you know, the Middle East, and you are Muslim, and but you're not, you are from, let me start, that you have, you know, your parents or whatever, you were born in England, but your parents are from, you know, Pakistan or whatever. Do you have to perform in order to be a citizen, or just by being born in England are you a citizen? So, you know, I believe the answer is different for the different type of people. I believe that if you are Muslim, there is this idea, if you are a Muslim American or a Muslim, you know, English person, I don't know, England men, that you have to perform in order to have the privilege of citizenship. And that is not the same thing as when you are a white person. You can go and do crazy, cruel things, but people still consider you British. They don't consider you a Middle Eastern or Middle Eastern descent. I may not be making sense, but that's... Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I actually, my memory card filled up, so I had to fix some stuff. I had a few technical difficulties. But I wanted to kind of close out with just a little bit more thoughts, a few more thoughts, not too many more thoughts, but a few more thoughts about the Antigone component of this that I mentioned earlier. And that was just the willingness to sacrifice for love. And I thought you saw that particularly in the end of the book with Anika. I think part of the reason why I did not, and this may be a little bit of a spoiler alert, it's really not so much with it's not a spoiler with what I think the author was trying to convey, but maybe a little bit with the plot. But and I kind of mentioned it, I think, in my previous blurb at the beginning of this video. But to me, okay. But, you know, the Antigone piece to me is in parallel to the relationship between Anika and her twin brother, Parvez, and Anika and Iman, who is the son of the diplomat that I spoke on at the beginning when I was introducing the book. And how that ending, you know, how that culminated at the end of the piece. In Antigone, there is a suicide, and that is a component of the end of this book, or we really don't know. We really don't know, but yeah, I'm not going to give too much there. But I think what I want to leave you guys with is more of a question. So if you've read this book, the question is, do you think that Anika really loved Iman? Or do you feel like she was willing to do whatever it took for her brother? Do you think there was a real true love there? Or do you think that it had everything to do with her brother and getting her twin back, her twin brother back? And then I think the question is, do you really believe that Anika loved Iman? Do you really think that she really loved him? That's kind of what I want to leave you guys with, because I think that even if you've read it, you can kind of still contemplate it. And if you want to read it, it's something that you can think about that doesn't really give too much away. For me, I think it's very, very tricky. Love is very, very tricky. And yeah, I don't really have a full answer. I would say that, you know, when you have a twin, you have someone that is connected to you, and they've been with you in the womb, you know, so that attraction and that connection is in a space that is spiritual. You know, it is very, very deep. So I will leave it at that. But I do also think that there was love between Iman and Anika. Okay, so if you haven't read the book, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you have read the book, you do. But hopefully that doesn't spoil it for you and it gets you to want to read this. Let me know in the comments below if you've read this, if you want to read it. Also, let me know if you think that I gave you too much, because I'm still trying to gauge and judge at that. With that being said, I want to close out the vlog here. I will be traveling quite a bit. So starting next week, I will be in Houston for 3 weeks straight. And so I do plan to continue to get my content uploaded weekly. And we'll see how that goes. I got a feeling that it'll be more vlog style. However, the end of the month I will be in Houston too, so I might do a wrap up as well, but we'll see. I'm hoping that my creative juices can flow and that I have enough time to really commit to putting up footage and putting up videos, because it's been a while. I think my last video was 10 days ago, so got to get back on that 7-day cycle, if not more than, you know, less than 7 days. But just stay on me, stay with me. I promise I'll continue to do stuff and continue to read. Yeah, so I'll leave you guys right here, and then I believe next week we'll have another vlog. I think I'll be able to get 2 books in next week, because one of them I've already started and it's audio, so I'm pretty sure I'll finish that pretty early in the week, and I haven't decided on what the other book will be. So stay tuned, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace out. Bye guys.